Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do the C paper included in this book published by the ABRSM in 2020. If you haven't done it yet, click on the red button there and subscribe to my channel so I can help you boost your confidence in music theory. You can also find me on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, and Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. Remember, you can also visit my website, theoryvirtuoso.com, where you can find all the videos that I publish. There are music theory videos to help you learn or revise your knowledge, tutorials on the most recent ABRSM workbooks Discovering Music Theory, exam papers, piano tutorials, and quizzes, so you can test your knowledge and see if you need a bit of revision. Thank you for sharing and liking my videos. Tell your friends about it so they can also become theory virtuosi. Ciao! The first section relates to rhythm. In this first exercise, we are asked to circle the correct time signature of these three melodies. Let's have a look. As usual, I always recommend you to visualize the group of things because grouping is also a good way of understanding the number of movements. And the number of movements is closely related to the time signature. So, do you see 4 things here? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our time signatures could be 12/8, 6/8, and 9/16. Now, 9/16 means 9 semiquavers grouped in 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 groups and it can't be. 6/8 means 6 quavers in a bar grouped in 3. So 2 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 12/8 means 12 quavers grouped in 3. Therefore, 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If we have these 4 groups of 3 quavers here, we're done. 1, 2, 3. 2 quavers plus 1. 3 quavers. 2 quavers plus 1. And an irregular group of quavers. This is a duplet. And the duplet means that in the space of 3 quavers we put 2. So the answer is 12/8 because we have 4 groups of 3 quavers. Given that this is irregular, okay? In the second example, we have, let's have a look. It looks very complicated. We have 1 group here though, and 1 group here. It makes me think of a compound time. So here 7/8 is not really a compound time because it's simply like is an odd number of quavers. It means 7 quavers grouped as 4 plus 3 or 3 plus 4 is a choice of the composer. It depends on how the composer wants the music to be. And this is a 9 semiquavers grouped in 3, so 3 groups of 3, and 6/8, as we said before, for both of them, is 6 quavers in a bar grouped as 2 groups of quavers, 3 quavers. So let's have a look. The fact that we have demisemiquavers, and that we have quite a lot of them, makes me think of 16th because our orientation value here is the semiquaver. Therefore, we can easily have demisemiquavers. But let's count. We have 3 groups of semiquavers, and this brings me back to this. Then we have 1 semiquaver, 1 semiquaver, and 1 semiquaver. So we have 3 semiquavers here grouped together. And then we have something, the leftover. Let's see what it is. We have 2 semiquavers and another semiquaver. So we have another group of 3 semiquavers. This is 2 quavers plus 1, so another group of 3 semiquavers. Therefore, our answer is 9/16. Again, always visualize the groups because they tell us everything, and see what is the minimum value, the orientation value that makes us grouping that way. And then you count and sort out the time signature. It's easy if you do it that way. For example, this last question here, do you see 4 items? I see 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now, our options are 9/8. I can easily exclude this because 9 is 3 groups of something, in this case quavers. 4/4, there's a movement in 4, yes, and 12/16, that means 12 semiquavers in a bar grouped in 3. So 4 groups of 3. We have the 4 movements here as well. We have demisemiquavers, so we are really undecided. Let's have a look and start from the easiest group. I think that the easiest is this. It's 2 quavers, and that means 1 crotchet. So I think that we can exclude 12/16 already. But let's go in order. Let's check if the other groups are also 1 crotchet. We have, let's start with the easiest again. We have 1 semiquaver, 2 semiquavers means a quaver, 2 quavers together equals 1 crotchet. And then this confirms what we've just said. 1 quaver here, and then an irregular group of semiquavers, a triplet, that means 3 semiquavers in the space of 2. So we have 2 semiquavers equals 1 quaver, and 1 quaver equals 1 crotchet. Okay, this basically. Okay, same as here. I'm actually going to write this here. Okay, these are 2 quavers. So far they are all the same. All these complicated things, in fact, is just 6 quavers, 3 crotchets. Now we have 1 quaver here, 1 semiquaver and another semiquaver. So 1 quaver, 2 semiquavers equals 2 quavers, and they equals to 1 crotchet. So our answer is 4/4. Common time, this. I hope this makes it easier. Let me know if not. Now I move on to the second question relating to rhythm. Here we have a bar in a compound time, 6/4, 6 crotchets in a bar, grouped in 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we need to tick the bar that shows the same rhythm, but in a simple time. 6/4, let's have a look at the whole thing. 6/4, 5/4. That can't be. This is not the simple time. This is just 5 crotchets in a bar. So we can easily exclude this one already. 2 halves means 2 minims in a bar. Now, in compound time, a group of 3 becomes a triplet. So here we need to have the same with this. 1, 2, and 3. An irregular number of notes becomes regular. So this is simply 1 and 2. Okay, that makes it simple. And this is irregular, would be irregular in the simple time. So this is why we need the triplet sign. And here, this is why we need to take it out, because these ones are irregular in compound time, but they will be regular in simple time. So let's have a look which one of these 2 options has this shape. This one. Because here we have a minim and the triplet. It can't be, because the rhythm will be different. Here we have 2 crotchets, so same value, That means that they have the same length. In this one, this note is longer than the rest. So it can't be. It's not exactly the same. So our answer is the second one. Our third exercise asks us to add a number to complete the sentences in a correct way. In 9/8, which means 9 quavers in a bar, grouped in 3 groups of 3, there are X number of dotted crochet beats in a bar. So we said already the answer, but let's go in order. 3 quavers times 3, okay? Each quaver is 1 dotted crochet, and the answer is 3 dotted crochets. If we go step by step, it is actually easier, because you see, you basically translate this Arabic into something understandable, and from there you go one step up until you reach the answer. I think this is the best way of doing any of these exercises. So you need a bit of knowledge and thinking in steps, like we do in maths. I hope you like maths. Second question. A minim is equal to a certain number of demi-semiquavers. Okay, here as well we go in step by step. A minim is 2 crochets. Every crochet has 2 quavers. Every quaver has 2 semiquavers. And each semiquaver has 2 demi-semiquavers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is equivalent to 1 crochet. So we just double this number and we're done. 8 demi-semiquavers becomes 16 demi-semiquavers. And our answer is 16. Sorted. Question number 4. We need to tick 1 box when we see a bar correctly grouped. 6/8 again means 6 quavers grouped in 3. So 2 groups of 3 quavers. Okay, I'm going to write it here. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Okay. Where do we see? Let's start. Okay, this is very, very confusing, and I don't even want to think. I am lazier than you guys. So I start from the end, from the easiest thing, from what I can easily recognize that is correct. This equals to 2 quavers and 2 quavers, so it is already impossible. I go on straight to this one. 1, 2, 3 quavers. And that's 1. Then just because I want to be absolutely sure, and because this is a tutorial, I convert this into quavers if it's the case. 3 of them equals 2 semiquavers equals 1 quaver. 1 quaver is here. And 4 of them, 4 demi-semiquavers equals 2 semiquavers equals 1 quaver. So here we are, okay? 1, 2, 3 grouped together, and 1, 2, 3 grouped together as well. So the first option. Exercise number 5. We need to tick or cross. This is one of the typical questions in which we must become the teacher of an imaginary student who has added rests to this melody. Have they added them correctly? Let's have a look. 3 halves means 3 minims in a bar. 1 minim is here, 1 minim is here. Now we have 1 crochet and another crotchet, which equals 1 minim. But do we really need a syncopation here? Do we really need to lengthen this rest? Or wouldn't it be better to write this instead? 1, 2 and 1, 2. I think this. So this is incorrect. Okay. There's no logic reason for having a syncopation with rests. What for? For the silence? Do we do like with the silence? It doesn't really make any sense. So the best option is this. Actually, the only possible option is this. So this is incorrect. Let's have a look at the second bar. We have 1 minim here, 2 crotchets equals 1 minim, and another minim here. Now, we always say that we need to see the 3 movements. So we need to see 1, 2, and 3. Have you ever seen a conductor conducting an orchestra? The gestures that he does with his arm are often reproducing the movements. So they are told when they practice conducting, okay, in a conservatoire or in a music school. And they really need to make sure that the movements are well displayed, as well as they are in the music. So here, where are the 2 movements? Again, why do we have this kind of syncopation that also merges 2 movements? We see one big thing made up of 2 movements, and the conductor would be confused by this. So the right answer here would be 2 minims, 2 crotchets, because we have in this case 1 movement here, 1 movement here, and 1 movement here. So the answer is incorrect. I'm afraid our imaginary student would need to practice a little bit more. Let's have a look at the last bar. We have 1 minim. I always start with the easier thing, guys. I trust me, I am really lazier than you. This is 1 minim. 4 quavers are 1 minim. Okay. 1, 2 is 1 crotchet. The other 2 is another crotchet. 2 crotchets equals 1 minim. And then we have another minim here. So I see the movements 1, 2, and 3. So our conductor this time would be very happy because this is a correct answer. Done! I hope this was useful. Let me know if not. For now, we move on to the second section of this paper. This second section relates to pitch. And our first question asks us to name this note written in the tenor clef. Now, if you need a revision, please go and watch my videos 1A, B, C, D, 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D, where I talk about clefs. Why do I know that this is the tenor clef? If you know the names of the 7 clefs in order, you will easily remember that this is soprano, mezzosoprano, alto, and tenor. The 2 bubbles meet on the 4th line. Soprano, here, mezzosoprano, alto, tenor. And here would be the baritone clef. So tenor clef. The tenor clef, in one of my videos, I said that the tenor clef is treble clef minus 1, because this is middle C. So D would become C, would be read C, so it's minus 1. This note in the treble clef would be B minus 1 equals A. There you go. If you're not sure, you can also double check by counting. Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, Si, La. don't forget that there is a note here. So do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, si, la, A. That's all done. Let's move on to the second question. We need to decide which one of them is the enharmonic equivalent of this note written in bass clef. This note is F in bass clef, Fa. Now, Fa could be always the case to write down a keyboard. Our note Fa could be Mi sharp, so E sharp, or G double flat, 2 steps down or 1 up. Now let's see which one is what we need. We have Mi double sharp, no. So flat, no, because we need double flat. So E sharp, that's our answer. E sharp. Done. Let's move on to number 3. In the question number 3, we are asked to be the teacher of this imaginary student who has translated this bar for cours anglais, and the cours anglais reads a fifth, the perfect fifth below, basically. So we need to transpose up a perfect fifth, and we need to include also the new key signature, because once we transpose, we also transpose the key of the melody. So we have 3 sharps, and when we have 3 sharps, we are in A major, and to know that, we take the last sharp up by a semitone, so sharp plus a semitone equals A, so La, so this is in A major. If we transpose A major up by a perfect fifth, we find E major. So we count La, Si, Do, Re, Mi, okay? And that is a perfect fifth up. E major. And E major has 4 sharps. And to know this, we go from E, a semitone below equals D sharp, and that is our last sharp in our key signature. Then we count in order: Fa, Do, Sol, Re. That is 4 sharps. Now, if you want to understand what I'm talking about and you don't know, because you use the circle of fifths, that for me is very confusing for the students. I've noticed this after years of marking the ABRSM exam papers. I think that the circle of fifths are very confusing. So I've explained my method in one of the videos that I publish about music theory. You can find it in the description below. It's 2A, 2B and 2C at the moment. So watch them and see what I do to understand and identify the key chord from any key signature and vice versa. So this key signature is incorrect because we would need just 4 sharps. So sorry. Then we just transpose it up by a fifth. So a perfect fifth from Do sharp is So sharp. So G sharp. And this is G sharp. So correct. A perfect fifth from B equals Fa sharp. And this is Fa sharp. Now, if you want to know this, you can also draw a keyboard . Okay. B then I have to count 3.5 semitones, so plus 3.5 tones, sorry, from the note. So from B, 1, 2, 3.5. Okay, 1, 2, 3.5. And this is Fa sharp. Let's use this technique here. Sol. 1, 2, 3.5. D. Not D flat. Sorry. Mi. Let's count. 1, 2, 3.5. Yes, B. Correct. And that is all done for you. We can move on to the fourth question. The last one relating to pitch. In this question, we need to compare these 3 bars and circle true or false for each of these statements. Memorime to answer this question. If the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? That's all. Middle C is here. Middle C is here. Middle C is here. And I've just realized that this is not been printed correctly, but here it is. It doesn't really matter. We only need this though. So middle C, middle C, middle C. A and C are at the same pitch. Middle C, middle C. Yes, they are. They don't start an octave lower here. This doesn't. This is not an octave higher. So yes, the same pitch. A is an octave higher than B. I'm afraid these are the same notes. So no. And B is an octave lower than C. No, that's the same note. Middle C, middle C. So false. In the printed answer book, you will see that there are 3 true answers. Well, I think there is a printing error here because they are not an octave higher. They are the same pitch. So I'm afraid that's incorrect. It happens. Let's move on. The third section, as we said, is very important because it gives you as many as 15 points. That counts a lot. So let's try to make it right. We need to take the correct key signature of D sharp minor. The key signatures with sharps have always this shape, 3 curves of which the second one is longer, unless there is the tenor clef where you have a zigzagging ascending wave. This is incorrect already because we don't have the third curve, so this should be higher, so no thank you. This has the correct shape, but look at where it starts. It should start on F here. So the starting, this is in another clef basically, so incorrect. This is also incorrect because it has this shape instead of this. Only the tenor clef has this shape here. And this is the alto clef. Soprano, mezzosoprano, alto in order. So no. And our answer could only be this one because it is an ascending zigzagging wave. And if we want to know what this note is treble clef -1, so sol -1 equals fa. We can double check with do, si, la, sol, fa by counting. So this is the correct answer. Let's move on to the flat key signatures. G flat major has 6 flats, and then we know this because the penultimate flat is G flat. So Si, Mi, La, Re, Sol, Do. Okay? We add another one. And the shape is always, for the flats, a zigzagging descending shape. So this is definitely not. This could be, and this, look at the first, well, it isn't because of this, but look at the first flat. This is middle C, so it should have been here. This is B flat. That is the first flat of the key signature, yes. So this is incorrect. Let's see which one of them is now correct. In bass clef, this is B because it's treble clef plus 2, so Sol plus 2 equals B. And this looks correct to me. Si, Mi, La, Re, Sol, Do. Let's see if this one is incorrect. This is Do, Si, La, Sol. This is Sol, G. It can't be. We can't start any key signature with G because the accidentals are always in the same order. Si, Mi, La, Re, Sol, Do, Fa, or Fa, Do, Sol, Re, La, Mi, Si. And if you want to know, if you call the names, if you call the notes with letters, that will be fun, choleric, gigantic, drawing after eating breakfast. That's the sharps. Or big elephants, 8 dinosaurs, goat cheese, and figs. Si, Mi, La, Re, Sol, Do, Fa. That is the flats. Okay. So our answer is this. There you go. Done. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I always reply. Thank you. Exercise number 3. In this question, we are asked to circle the right key of the given melodies in which we don't have any key signature. So we need to see what accidentals we have. We have 3 melodies with flats this time. So let's see. The first one has as options B flat minor, G minor, E flat major, and F minor. All of them have flats in their key signature. So let's see. Let's identify the last flat, or the possible last flat of our melody. Let me write again here the order of flats and sharps. I know them by heart with the Do, Re, Mi names, but to just give you also the letter names. Sharps, well, we don't need sharps here, so flats. Big elephants, 8 dinosaur, goat, cheese, and figs. Okay. In this first melody we have B flat, Re flat, and La flat. Our very last one seems to be D flat. So I think we have 4 flats in this melody. Si, Mi, La, Re. Let's have a look. Si, Mi, La, Re. This note should be flat. There is one reason why it's not flat, but it's natural, and it's because it's the leading note of the next semitone, therefore Fa, F. Let's exclude the other ones. In E flat major, we would have only 3 flats, not D flat, so it can be. In G minor, we would have only 2 flats because it's the relative minor of 1, 2, 3 semitones above B flat, and B flat has only 2 flats, and also the leading note is Fa sharp, so this should have been sharp, so we can't B in G minor here. B flat minor is the relative minor of 3 semitones above D flat, and D flat plus 1 has 5 flats. So G should have been flat here. So it can be. Our answer is F minor. Second example. We have E flat major, B flat major, A flat major, and G minor. All of them has flats in their key signature. Let's identify the possible last flat of our key signature. Mi flat, B flat, A flat, and another Mi flat. So it appears that we have 3 flats here, Si, Mi, and La. If we have 3 flats, we are usually in E flat major, and it is the first of our options here. Let's exclude the other ones. B flat major has only 2 flats, so we couldn't have A flat. A flat major has 4 flats. Okay, A flat plus 1, 4 flats. So D should have been flat here, so no. G minor has 2 flats. It's the relative minor of B, B flat, 3 semitones above. B flat, and it has only 2 flats, plus F sharp, okay? That is not here either. So our answer is E flat major. Third question. We have in our options E flat minor, B flat major, F major, and B flat minor. Again, all flats in their key signatures. E flat minor is the relative minor of 3 semitones above G flat major. G flat major has 6 flats. We can already see that we have not that many, so I think we can exclude this one. B flat major has 2 flats because we just this is the penultimate flat, so plus 1 is C and Mi, and we do have C and Mi, so it could be. Let's exclude the other ones. F major has only 1 flat, B, and here we have E, so we can exclude this one too. B flat minor, we said that here it's the relative minor of D flat major, and D flat has 5 flats, so it can't be because there are just 2 in this melody. So goodbye, and our correct answer is B flat major. Is it clear, guys? I think that this is one of the most difficult ones for the students. So make sure that you understand my procedure. And if you have any questions, of course, leave me a comment, because I always read them and I always reply. For now, question number 4. In this question, we must tick one of the boxes that shows the correct note of D flat major scale. In tenor clef, don't panic, is treble clef -1, so this is D flat. On this one you can use 2 techniques. You either know that each major scale is made up of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, TTS, TTTS. Okay, so you count from here. Okay, this is the ascending version. So if you go down, you need to go backwards. Or you can use the key signature. D flat major has 5 flats. Si, Mi, La, Re, Sol. Big elephants, 8 dinosaurs, goat. So G flat is our last one. So, Re, Mi, Fa, Re flat, Mi flat, Fa, So flat. We need to write A flat here. Why? Because it's included in our key signature. Si, mi, la. So A flat. Another way of doing this is that this is a tone. This is a tone. This is a semitone. Now we need a tone between this and this note here. So So flat minus 1, yeah? G flat plus 1 equals A flat. Okay, and this is one option. Then B flat and Do. We are here now. So there is a tone between this and this note. So C. Another way of doing it is by saying aloud the flats included in the key signature and C, if Do is included. So Si, Mi, La, Re, Sol. There's no Do here. Big elephants, 8 dinosaurs, goat. There's no C here, so it's natural. And that is done. I hope this is useful. Let's move on to the second page. Another important question that is confusing the students a lot. So let's try to understand the correct process here. We need to circle one clef that would make these scales a minor scale, any type of minor scale. This we can see already that this is a harmonic scale because it has the seventh degree raised up. Okay, and there is an augmented second here, I think. But let's see in which clef. In the treble clef, this will be Mi sharp. E sharp doesn't exist because E sharp equals F. So our scale would be called F minor in the enharmonic, one of the enharmonic names. So no. In the bass clef, this would be G sharp. G sharp is the relative minor of B major. And B major has, now I think that here I need to write again the order of flats and sharps. So fun, colory, gigantic drawings after eating breakfast. And the flats are big elephants, 8 dinosaurs, goat, cheese and figs. Now if you don't call the names do, re, mi, you can always relate to this so you can understand. Now G sharp minor is the relative minor of B major, and B major minus one semitone is A, so Fa, Do, Sol, Re, La, 5 sharps. So B major has 5 sharps, and we have enough here to justify that. Now let's see. That will be Sol, La, Si, Do sharp, Re sharp, Mi, Fa double sharp and Sol. So this could be a G sharp minor scale. Let's exclude the other one just to make sure that this is our answer. In the alto clef plus 1, this note would be called Fa sharp. Fa sharp minor is the relative minor of 3 semitones above A major, and A major minus 1 semitone G, so it has 3 sharps, Fa, Do, Sol. We wouldn't have B sharp here. We already know that this is incorrect because we wouldn't have this B sharp here. So this is incorrect. In the tenor clef, this is minus 1, so this is D sharp. D sharp would be the relative minor of F sharp major that has loads of sharps, because F sharp minus 1 is Mi sharp, Fa, Do, Sol, Re, La, Mi, 6 sharps. Let's see. we would have, so this would be D sharp. So Re sharp, Mi sharp, so everything apart from E, plus the leading note. So Mi sharp, E sharp, yes, and this is F, Fa sharp, and it's not sharp, so it's not possible. Fa sharp must be sharp. It's the relative major, so it can't be. So no, goodbye, and our answer is the bass clef. Second example. In the treble clef, this would be called Sol, G. G minor is the relative minor of B flat major, and B flat major has two flats, plus we must have the leading note. So Fa sharp. This could be a harmonic scale because we have the augmented second and the leading note raised up. So this could be, let's exclude the other ones. In bass clef, this is B minor. B minor is a relative minor of D major and it has sharps, not flats. So no. In the alto clef, this will be A minor. A minor is the relative minor of C major, no flats, just one sharp at the top, so no. In the tenor clef, this will be Fa. F minor is the relative minor of A flat, 3 semitones above. A flat has 4 flats. Si, Mi, La and Re. And Fa, Sol, La, this is flat, but B is not flat, so it can't be. So our answer is the treble clef. In the last exercise, let's have a look. Oh my God, okay, we go from this note. This note could be E sharp. E sharp doesn't exist because in the scales it would be called F. So we can exclude the treble clef. In the bass clef, G sharp, we've done it here. I doubt that we have 2 in one exercise, but let's have a look. G sharp, A sharp, B, so Sol, La, Si, Do, Re sharp. No, this should have been sharp because G sharp is the relative minor of B major, and B major has 5 sharps. So Do would be sharp. So it's not in bass clef either. In the alto clef, this will be Fa sharp. Fa sharp is the relative minor of A major. A major minus 1 semitone G, so it has 3 sharps. Fa, Do and Sol. Fa, Do and Sol. That could be a melodic, descending melodic scale of F sharp minor. Let's exclude now the tenor clef to be sure that our answer is the alto clef. In the tenor clef, this will be -1, so D sharp. D sharp is the relative minor of F sharp, and F sharp has all these sharps, 6 sharps, and we don't have enough here, so this is incorrect. So our answer is the alto clef. Guys, I hope that this makes things clearer for you, because it is important that you understand. I'm doing these tutorials for making you understand. You can check the answers in the answer book, but you will never understand fully if you don't go through all the passages. And I hope that I'm making them clear and easy to understand, so you can reproduce them in your exam as well. Let me know your marks, by the way. I want to know if you get a distinction. That would be great. Okay, we move on now. In this next question, we need to say whether this statement is correct or incorrect. This is a scale, chromatic scale beginning on F. Let's see. Fa. In this case, I would write a keyboard here. is very long. Fa, Fa sharp, Sol, So sharp, La, Si, there is A sharp. A sharp is missing here, so it's already false. We don't need to check further. It's false already. Let this one here. Re sharp, where do we go? Here. Re sharp, Re natural, Do sharp. B sharp is Do. B natural. La sharp, La natural. So sharp, So natural. F sharp, Fa natural. Mi, and Re sharp. It is correct. Let's see again. I just play it. Re, re natural, Do, Si, Si. La, Sol, Sol, Fa, Fa, Mi, Re. Yes, it is. Yeah, I play it on an imaginary keyboard. Correct. Perfect. We can move on. Here again, we need to circle true or false if we agree or not with this statement. This is the subdominant of F minor. Okay, in bass clef, this is Re flat. And it's the subdominant, so it's the fourth degree of F minor. Now, what is the fourth degree of F minor? Let's see. Fa, Sol, La, Si, B. So this is D. So the note is already incorrect, so false. We don't need to check flat or not flat. It's false already. Let's see. The second one, B flat minor, the tonic, B flat. So if this is a B flat, it's correct. Easy peasy. B flat, correct. That's the tonic. It's the first degree. In the treble clef, this is Re. And they say this is the supertonic of D major. The supertonic is the second degree of D major and is Mi, E. So this is also false. Done. Happy? Can I move on? Let's go on to the section relating to intervals. Okay, we need to name the intervals indicated here and tick the box that corresponds to the right name, the correct name. So this is a compound interval. We know it already. Is bigger than an octave. So we can exclude this one and nothing else really, because this is also compound interval, compound. So let's see. In order to answer this question, we need to either transpose this lower note up by an octave or lower it down by an octave, just to make it simple, not compound in this sense. So let's do this, okay? Sol up here. This is Fa. Sol, Fa is a seventh. So we can exclude the perfect 12th because that would be a 14th anyway. So here it is. Now we already know that Sol, Fa is a seventh. So even if we don't know if it's a minor or major, we can exclude the fifth because it's not a perfect fifth anyway. It's not even a fifth. So our answer is compound minor seventh. Why it is a minor? If you flip it over, Fa, Sol, okay, if you flip it over, Sol from here, you put it here, it's a major seventh, and if you flip it back again, it's a minor. We will talk about it later on. The second example is a fifth. Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do. So let's exclude the augmented fourth and the major fourth. Again, this note, for example, the enharmonic name of this could be B sharp. And in this case, it would be a fourth because fa, sol, la, si, B. Okay. In order to find the right number, we need to call the notes as they are on the score. So, fa, sol, la, si, do. Is it perfect or diminished? Fa, do. Okay. We can write, actually, I'm going to write it here so we can use it for the next one too. A perfect fifth is 3.5 semitones. Away. So fa do, but fa is sharp. So if we don't call the notes as they are, we have to look carefully at all the details. Fa sharp is 3.5 semitones. So let's see. 1, 2, 3.5. That would be C sharp. We have natural. So it's a diminished fifth because it's 1 semitone below. 1, 2, 3, 3, not and a half. So it's a diminished fifth. The last example is B and so sharp. If you don't know it, count. Do, re, mi, fa, sol sharp. G sharp. Let's see if it's a seventh, a sixth. I'm confused, so let's count. Si, do, re, mi, fa, sol is a sixth. So let's exclude compound minor third because it's less than an octave. And seventh, we have major or minor. Which one is it? Okay, in this case, we can use the flipping technique. So if we raised it up by an octave, so instead of considering B, G sharp, let's consider G sharp, B. Okay, so I'm going to write it here actually. Well, sharp, B. Okay, these two notes. G sharp, B is 3 semitones, so it's a minor third. A minor, if you flip it over as it is here, becomes a major. So this is a major sixth. Yeah, does it make sense? The major becomes minor, the perfect becomes diminished, augmented becomes diminished, and so forth. This is a very, very good technique. I found it myself, so yeah, you won't find it in any books, honestly, just in my tutorials. Send it to your friends so they know it as well. We move on to the next one that is very similar to this one. All right, here we need to circle the type. Let's see. La flat, do. This is bigger than an octave. So it's a compound interval. We don't need it here. So I just, I could either raise it up by an octave or lower it down. I just do this. A flat, do. 1, 2, sorry. A flat is 1 tone and 2 tones. So it's a major third. And that would be a compound major third. So major. Sol, B flat. This is also a compound interval, but we don't care. We just raise it up by an octave and we reduce it to a third. What kind of third? 1, 2, and 3 steps. 3 semitones is a minor third. Three steps. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, here we have sharps. Watch out. Sol, do sharp. Sol, do sharp. It is a fourth. Sol, la, si, do. Let's see if it's perfect or augmented or diminished, whatever. Let's see. Sol, 1, 2, and 3 tones. Now, the perfect fourth is made up of 2 tones and a half. And this has 3 because it's 1, 2 tones and 3 tones. So it's 1 semitone more than perfect, so augmented. And that's all done. I hope this is clear. If you use the keyboard, that will help a lot. Let's move on to the next one now. In this third question, we are asked to write a higher note that makes this interval written here. Compound augmented fourth. Now, we've just said that the perfect fourth is 2.5 tones distant, and we need 1 more semitone, so 3 tones from D. Let's write our keyboard. That is, as usual, very helpful. Okay, from Re, here, we need 3 tones. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, what do we call this note here? This could be G sharp, A flat. Okay, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, 4. So it's Sol, it's G. Okay, we need to count, we need to have this number 4. So don't call it A flat. If you call it La flat, it's A fifth. So, Re, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's G. Okay, so G sharp. Now, why am I writing it that little? Because this is a compound, so it must be raised up by an octave. So, here it is. Okay, raised up by an octave. Compound, augmented, fourth. Let's move on to the second one. We have 2 flats here, B and C and Mi. Minor sixth from Sol flat. Now, we said that we can make it a third down, a major third down, and then we raise it up by an octave. So a major third from G flat is 2 tones. So G flat, 1 and 2. This must be called E. Okay, Sol, Fa, Mi, that's the third. Okay, E. And what kind of E? So here, let's do that again. 1 and 2. This is, we must call this note E, Mi. So this could be Re, D. This could be C double sharp, or it could be E double flat. 2 semitones below E, Mi. Now, double flat. Why do I write it here? Because to make a minor 6, I have to flip it over. So, double flat. And this is our answer. So, what did I do? I made it a third down. If I flip it over, it becomes, so a major third down, it becomes a minor 6. C sharp, a perfect fifth from C sharp, easy. Do, sol, do sharp, so sharp. However, I will just count here 3 tones and a half. 1, 2, 3 and a half. So sharp. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. 5 steps up. A minor ninth. Now, a minor ninth is an octave plus another tone. So E flat, okay, let's write another E flat here. Mi flat, okay. Now we need a minor second from here. And the minor second from Mi flat is a semitone above. This note here. Now we need to call it Fa, F. So it's Fa flat. Okay. That's it. So what do we do here? Raise it up by an octave, and then we do the minor second that is missing here. And we find our note. Why can we call it E? Because it has to be one note up from Mi, E. And I hope this makes sense. Let's turn the page together. This fifth section relates to chords, another important topic in music. Let's make it right, shall we? Number 1, we need to write the Roman numerals that makes a cadence. This piece is in D major, and we know it because it has 2 sharps. The last one plus 1 semitone, Do sharp plus 1 semitone is Re, so D major. And it starts on Re, finishes on Re, it ends on Re, so it is in D major. Now, we have Sol, Si, Re. Sol, La, Si, Do, Re. So this is the root position. On the piano we will play it like this. And the bottom note is G. What degree is G, considering D major? Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, the 4th. So this is the 4th, chord 4. Re, Fa, La. Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. These are the orders. When you do one note, yes, you skip one note, another note, you skip one note, another note. That's the, okay, press one note, skip one note, press one, skip the other one, press the last one. That's the root position, and this is the tonic of the chord. So Re is our the bottom note, so that's the first. 4/1 is the play go cadence, so that makes sense. Because this exercise, this question asks us to find the cadences, make sure that the chords that you write are actually a cadence. If you write 2/1, that is not a cadence. So make sure, so something is wrong in your answer, make sure that you also double check your answers by checking if the chords that you've written actually form a cadence. And I hope this makes sense. Let's move on now. We have Mi, Si, and Sol. Okay. Mi, Sol, and Si. Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Root position. Mi is our bottom note, and Mi for Re is the second degree. So chord 2. We have now Do and La. La, Si, Do. In this case, there is one note omitted, and this note is the top one. Mi. La, Do, Mi. Do sharp in this case, but yeah. La, Si, Do, Re, Mi. And La, the bottom note, for re is the fifth. Re, mi, fa, sol, la. Fifth. So this is chord 5. Our last bar is re, fa, re. So it is, of course, re, fa, la. This is sharp, by the way. Okay, re, that's the tonic. So 2, 5, 1 is an extended perfect cadence. This is it. Okay, we're going to use this technique in the other 2 questions, so keep that in mind. We move on now. Second question. Okay, we need to find the cadence and name it. Let's see, we are in G major. This is do, sol, do, mi. Okay, we write the names of the notes. Do, sol, do, and mi. Now, do is repeated. We rub one out. We try to order them correctly. So, do, re, mi, fa, sol. So, do, mi, sol. This is the root position of this chord, and C is the main note, the tonic of the chord. So that's a C major chord. For G, sol, la, si, do is the 4th degree. So this is 4. Let's see, this must be 1, but let's check. G, sol, sol, si, re. G is doubled, sol is our tonic, so there you go. 4-1. 4-1 is the Plagal cadence. Does it make sense? Let's try this other one. C major. We have sol, si, sol, re. Sol is doubled, so sol, si, re. Sol is our, so sol, la, si, do, re. That's our correct order in the root position. So sol is our tonic, and sol for do is the 5th. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. 5. Do, sol, mi, that's do, mi, sol. But let's do it. G, E, this is doubled. Do, so do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay, do, mi, sol. This is the first. So 5-1 is the perfect cadence. Here it is. I hope this makes things easier for you guys. Let me know, because the chords are also a little bit tricky for some. So let me know if you understand what I'm talking about here. And if this technique of writing them down, shuffling them around is also helpful. The last question about chords now. We need to tick one box that corresponds to the correct name of these 3 chords. We have a few options we need to see. They are very different from each other sometimes. 1A, 1B, 4A, 5A. So we need to be sure. This piece is in D minor. And D minor has 1 flat because it's the relative minor of F major. We have Re, Fa, Re, La. Re is doubled. We can delete, we can cross one out, and re, mi, fa, sol, la. Re, fa, la is the order. Re is our bottom note of this chord, shaped like this in root position. So it's 1. At the bottom of the chord is re, so this is 1A. Here. Our second chord is made up of do sharp, la, mi, and la. La is doubled, so goodbye. Now let's put them in order. I think it's la, si, do sharp, re, mi. So la, do, sharp, mi. La is our root, but it's not at the bottom. So first we find the number. La, if we are in D minor, La would be the 5th degree. Re, mi, fa, sol, la. So we already know that this chord is 5. Now which one? 5A, 5B or 5C? At the bottom there is C sharp, so it's 5B. So where is 5B here? Here. Our last chord is made of C flat, Re, Re, Sol. Re is doubled, so C flat, Do, Re, and then it doesn't make sense, so G has to go down, so Sol, La, Si flat, Do, Re, Sol, Si, Re. Sol is our root note, and Sol for D minor is the 4th degree. Re, mi, fa, sol. So we are 4th degree. Now which one? A, B or C? And because our bottom note is B flat, is 4B. And our answer is 4B. Okay? Have I made things easier for you guys? Can you let me know? Because chords could be complicated. Let me know. Leave me a comment. Thank you. Terms and signs and instruments. Something to memorize. That's it. Shortcuts are still possible, but it still remains a memory activity, this one. So be mindful of that. Giocoso is an Italian name to say playful. Giocare means play. Perdendosi, losing. Perdendosi, when you lose something. So when it's dying away. This is like if you are, I don't know, in front of the sea, there is a boat, there is leaving the shore. You see it big and then smaller, 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 until it becomes a tiny dot in the horizon and it disappears. That is the sense of this perdendosi. You lose the sight of it. And this is, of course, a metaphor that is used for sound as well. You lose the sight, you lose the sound of it. So the sound is really dying away. Lebhaft is a German term for lively, like allegro. It's happy, is joyful. That's all. Memorizing. That's the only solution here, guys. Sorry. But also experience. So every time you encounter one of these terms in music, try to understand what you do. That makes you remember them more easily. Second question about ornaments. We need to name the developed ornament here. When we have one note, it can be a trill, it can be a turn, and it can be a mordant, because we need at least 2 notes, lots of notes, and a combination of 3 notes. It makes it 4, this shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. These are the same notes. So, acciaccatura. Tiram, tam, tiram, tiram, tram. Acciaccatura is this. Tram, tiram. 2 notes, so it can be acciaccatura, it can be appoggiatura, because they are very similar, just 1 note, but the rhythm is different. It can be a trill, a lower mordant. Da-da-da, 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 mordant. That's all. By exclusion, this is very easy actually. Let's move on to the third one, true or false. Which one of these statements is true and which one is false? The triangle produces sounds of definite pitch. I'm afraid this is incorrect because the triangle is just is an indefinite pitch. A horn is a transposing instrument. Yes. In fact, in the transposition chapter in your grade 5 Discovery Music Theory grade 5 book, you have one exercise that asks you to transpose from a horn, clarinet, a cor anglais. These are the instruments that transpose. And horn transposes a fifth, a perfect fifth. So yes. Bass drum. The bass drum produces sounds of definite pitch. Incorrect, I'm afraid. They have no pitch. There are some percussions that produce definite pitches, and they are marimba, xylophone, vibraphone, these kinds of things, but not bass drum. Tamburo. Pizzicato means to play with a bow. Actually, it means not to play with a bow, but to pluck the strings. So, no. A flute might be played con sordina. Now, the sordina is something that we add to our instrument to make a lower sound in volume, to reduce the volume, and is an object that we add. It could be like a kind of something like this, and this is for strings, okay, to block the strings. It could be like, oh, I'm very bad at drawing, but it could be something like this that we put at the end of our brass instruments. But I'm afraid the flute has no sordina. So the flute can't play with a certain tones. How does it change tones? Well, there are some, not the study instruments, but the very good instruments, brands. You can change it from the way you blow into the instruments. And it's quite cool, actually, if you listen to, for example, Emmanuel Pahoud playing. He's got such a great instrument, and he can change the tones depending on how he blows. There are some techniques, but let's not go there. So they don't have a sordina, so no, false. Okay, done. Let's move on to our last chapter relating to musical context. Here we have a piece of music written for clarinet in B flat, and we need to answer the questions. Now, for answering the first group of questions, our memorime will help us a lot. If the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? Middle C is here, middle C is here, middle C is here. And we need to compare these bars to bar 2 of the left-hand piano part. Now I just do it here. It's written in the bass clef, and our first note is this G here, and middle C is up here. So middle C, middle C, middle C, middle C. Only A and C are correctly rewritten one octave higher. Now, this G is more than an octave lower than middle C. Therefore, these A and C they say here are written here. Some notes underneath middle C. If this is correct, these notes should be a few notes below middle C. This is below middle C, and this is below middle C. Now, they say here only A and C, but actually B is also below middle C. So I'm afraid this is incorrect. And because in the question they ask us to tick the one correct statement, it means that only one of these four is correct. Let's see which one. Only B is correctly rewritten an octave lower, and this is incorrect because they are the same. Only A and C are correctly rewritten one octave lower, and this is incorrect as well because they are all the same pitch here, you see. A, B and C are correctly rewritten one octave higher, and this is the only correct answer. I hope this helps. Middle C, that's the key. Okay, let's move on now. In this second question, we need to say whether these statements are true or false. The music should be played happily. And I'm afraid there's nothing more false than this, because our first indication in the music is con dolore, and dolore means pain. So it's painful. The music is painful, definitely not happy, so false. The clarinet in bar 3 should be played in an undertone. Now, undertone is the English translation for sottovoce, not with a plain voice sound, but like half. This is it's a very popular effect when we need a specific effect to do. And this is true because in the clarinet has a sottovoce indication at the start. The tempo remains the same throughout the melody. This is also correct because we don't have any ritardando or rallentando or accelerando indication. The highest note in the piano part is an E. Now, we see on the fourth bar that we have an E, but I'm afraid that Mi is flat. So the highest note in the piano part is an E flat, not an E. So false. There are 3 pairs of great notes in the music. Now, grace notes are like acciaccatura, appoggiatura, and we have one in bar 2, one in bar 4, and one in bar 5. So the statement is correct. There you go, done. Let's move on to the third question. Which instrument would be able to play the notes of the left hand piano part from bar 1 to 5? So which instrument basically could play the left hand piano part from bar 1 to 5? Viola, trumpet, oboe, they are all too high. Even if they don't read in treble clef, the pitch is in that area or close. So I think that it's too low. This low G here, it's too low for these instruments. It's out of their compass. So the only possible answer here is cello. Now the fourth question, how many times the dominant of G minor appears in the left hand piano part? Now the dominant in G minor is Re. It's the 5th degree. So Re. How many times? Let's count them. There are quite a lot. And if you count them all, there would be 14. Our very last question in this paper. We need to complete the sentences. And we only need a number. There is an accent in bar 8. There is a trill in bar 3. And the C paper is all done for you. I hope this is helpful. Let me know, write a comment and let me know how it goes. If you need further help, ask me questions. If you didn't understand something, let me know. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, where I publish all sorts of things about practice, about theory, and I try to help my students to understand music more, and as a result to get a distinction in any of their exams. Thank you very much, and let's stay in touch. Bye bye.